this video, we're going to be taking a look at Princess Leia and her Hoth battle gear for the Black Series 6-inch line. This particular version you're looking at is from the 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back, where it was in that traditional Kenner-looking package. I think, if I recall correctly, that is a repack action figure. The original was released in the black and red packaging maybe a year or two previously. But as far as I know, both samples are the exact same action figure. No differences whatsoever. So I consider this the definitive Black Series Leia to date. It's a very nice action figure. The head sculpt is phenomenal. Looks pretty spot on, I would say, to Carrie Fisher as Leia. And overall, the sculpting work is very good. Very athletic action figure, I suppose. And Hasbro didn't just cheapen out and give her a blaster or anything like that. They actually gave her some goggles and a few other accessories as well. And we'll touch on that here in a little bit. What more can I say about this? So I actually got this at the time it was released. It was in 2020, I think it was. I actually found this one at retail. And even to this day, I still find this Leia at retail brand new every now and then. For some reason, Leia just doesn't sell very well. Same with the Bespin Han Solo that was released in the anniversary line as well. Some stores I go to, I still see them sitting on the pegs almost 4 years later, which is incredible. What else can I say about this? We'll just go ahead and dive into it. Like I said, I think that head sculpt looks phenomenal. The skin tone looks good. The eyes are not blotchy. Everything looks good. It's very crisp. Photoreal turned out very nice on this. I think if Hasbro was to scale this down in TVC, it would be very nice and a lot of people would welcome it. Especially from that angle, I think that looks pretty spot on to Carrie Fisher. Where she has that braided hair around her head there. Looks pretty good. Nice detailing in that. Has her vest here with the, I would assume that's supposed to be a rank badge. It's a little bit of a different shade of white compared to the rest of her outfit. And I think similar to the TVC Hoth Leia, a lot of her parts here were reused for the Bespin Escape Leia that was also in the Black Series. Just minus the vest, basically. And a slightly different head sculpt. Or hair sculpt, I should say. She does have the communicator on this side. And for her legs and her boots there. Looks really good. So unlike the TVC Leia, she looks a lot more cleaner. I'll say that. You can see side by side here. This one you can tell she's maybe got some dirt sprayed on her, or she's been out in the elements for a little bit. This one looks much more cleaner. Not sure if the vest here is yellowing or if that's the shade it's supposed to be specifically. I would have to check around online to see some of the samples. Same with the boots, they're a little bit different as well. They're pretty close. In terms of her articulation, I don't think there's really a need to go over it. It's super articulated all around. Exactly what you would expect in a Black Series action figure. The head is a little stiff on my sample though, but it's probably because I haven't moved it around too much. The point being, it's a little more stiff compared to the TVC action figure, where that one had a very nice range on it. But she does have the pins in the knees here. So she does have that double joint. But unlike a lot of action figures, it's pretty well concealed on this. It's not really that big of a deal. I know a lot of action figures, it usually stands out and you can see it from a mile away. Not so much the case with this. So in terms of her weapons and accessories, of course she comes with the standard Rebel Blaster. Nothing really too unique about that. She does hold it pretty well in her hand. I am having a little bit of a hard time trying to get her finger around the trigger there, but if you work with it, you might be able to get it. I think a lot of it is she just has a small grip there. And she does come with two unique things as well. So she has these goggles. If I can get them out of her hand. And something unique about these goggles as well is I've seen people take these and use them on the Black Series Season 1 Tech action figure. I do have that one reviewed on the channel, but if you know anything about that figure, he does not have the goggles sculpted onto his face, which is kind of a signature thing about Tech. So I have seen people take these goggles and put them around him, and as far as I know, they do work. I think I have tried this once a couple years ago, and I do recall it seeming to work. It's not perfect. You have to work with it a little bit. You might have to boil this part even just to get the flex around him. But that is an option for you. I think these do fit around her all right. Let's see here. Yeah, not too bad. That's about as far as I'm going to get with them. So it's an accessory that has more than one use for more than one character. And she also comes with her welding tool here, which is the one she uses on the Millennium Falcon, I think, when they're trying to repair it. And this is long after Hoth. Nice accessory to have. Glad they included it. I don't think the Empire Strikes Back Han Solo action figures include that at all. We know the TVC one, or the TVC Bespin Luke, or not Luke, Han Solo did. So nice for Hasbro to give a little bit more value. And this action figure was only $19.99 at the time. It's amazing how much the prices have gone up in just 4 years' time. But this is typically how I have her posed. The blaster in one hand and then the goggles in the other. And something interesting about this Leia as well is this is one of the few I can actually get on the 6-inch scale stands that I have, or the custom ones. I think a clear one looks good for her, but this peg and that peg work well for both feet. Most of the time you can only get one foot or the other, and only one type of peg works. One's usually too loose, or the other two are too loose, I should say. This one works out pretty good. So she's probably one of the most stable Black Series action figures I have displayed on my shelf. And compared to the TVC action figure here, I think they look really good together. It's about 10 years apart, or 8 or 9 years I should say. I think the black and red Hoth Leia came out maybe in 2000, end of 18 into 19. I think I did see it in retail once, but I passed up on it. I think most people, if they own this action figure, most people have the anniversary one because that one was more widely available and it had more of a production run. But anyways, that's all I can say about this Black Series Hoth Leia, so what I recommend it for your collection. I totally would. If you can only have one 6-inch scale Leia for your collection, this is the one to get. It's a more battle-oriented one. She's very athletic. She looks pretty spot on to Carrie Fisher. The head sculpt is really good, even if it's not 100% perfect. Still pretty close, and even from a mile away, you can tell that this is Princess Leia. And it's just a good action figure all around. And that's all I can really say about it. I think it's just good sculpting work all around. Articulation's really good. That's one thing I will mention about this Hoth Leia from the vintage collection real quick, is I thought the joints were always kind of fluid with this one. And I think it's the same way with the Black Series figure. I think a lot of people would like to see it scaled down into the TBC if Hasbro ever does redo Hoth Leia. And I would certainly get one. Don't think much would really need to be changed. But yeah, highly recommended action figure. Solid all around. And even to this day, you could probably still find it for $15 or less even, because it's peg warmed heavily, and even on sites like Amazon, I don't think it's sold too well either, even to this day. So if you really want one and you don't own one yet, I think you're not going to have too difficult time trying to get a hold of her. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There'll always be more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate all your support, and check out the links in the description if you haven't done so already. As always, thanks for watching.